Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a topic that takes us far beyond Missouri just being the show me state. We're going to explore whether it might also be the show me your ghosts state. Get ready for an intriguing exploration into some of the truly eerie corners of America.
That's right. And, when you really start to unpack Missouri's history, you find this turbulent and often violent tapestry. I mean, think about it. Thousands of Civil War battles and skirmishes fought right there. Plus, its role as the gateway to the West. That made it a stage for, well, infamous outlaws like Jesse James and those brutal bushwhackers.
Bushwhackers. Those were the pro-Confederate guerrilla fighters, right?
Yeah.
Known for really savage tactics.
Exactly. Irregular, often brutal warfare. So this deep, often bloody past, it's left a really indelible mark, which makes it, as many sources highlight, a prime location for some significant paranormal activity. Author Jason Offutt, who did extensive research for his Hunt to Missouri guide, really emphasizes these profound historical roots.
That's a powerful point about the state's very fabric. So is it fair to say then, in Missouri, the sheer density of historical trauma, from the Civil War divisions, the outlaw violence, frontier hardships, it creates this sort of historical resonance chamber, making it maybe particularly susceptible to these lingering energies compared to states with perhaps a less intensely conflicted past.
Precisely, yeah. What Offutt's research, and frankly many others suggest, is that it's not just one tragedy. It's this cumulative layering of intense, often violent human experience that seems to almost saturate the ground, the buildings. It's like the landscape itself remembers, and these stories are the echoes. So our mission today is really to give you a shortcut to understanding why Missouri is considered one of the most haunted states in America. We'll reveal some surprising facts, some spine-tingling stories from the sources you've shared. Get ready to explore the otherworldly side of the show me state.
Okay, so we've established Missouri's historically charged canvas. Let's zoom in. Where are these spectral imprints most vividly reported? Let's start with some of its grand yet grief-stricken private homes.
Right. We absolutely have to begin with the Lemp Mansion in St. Louis. It comes up constantly. Frequently cited as one of the 10 most haunted locations in America. It even made the Travel Channel's list of most terrifying places.
Yeah.
It started as this symbol of immense wealth and power, built by Johann Adam Lemp, who founded St. Louis's first big beer dynasty back in the 1840s.
And it's beneath that grand facade that, wow, a truly dark and tragic story started to unfold. The mansion became the site of just this devastating chain of suicides. William Lemp, Johann's son, shot himself in 1904 after some profound personal losses. Then years later, his son Charles also died by suicide. And then there's that truly heartbreaking story of William Munger's illegitimate son. The rumor was he had Down syndrome, and he was tragically hidden away in the mansion's attic. And he, too, died by suicide. It's important to acknowledge the staff back then reflecting a really insensitive and prejudiced time, used an offensive term for him. His spirit is now believed to be one of the most active there.
Yeah, given that immense, profound despair, it's really no surprise the mansion is reportedly haunted by these troubled Lemp family ghosts. Activity is significant throughout the place, from the grand stairway to the attic believed to be where that poor child's spirit lingers, and the basement, which staff even apparently call the Gates of Hell.
The Gates of Hell.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. Visitors and staff, they've reported apparitions appearing and just vanishing, inexplicable voices, strange noises, even glasses flying off the bar by themselves. It's a place where the weight of those past sorrows feels almost palpable.
Okay, so from the opulence and despair in St. Louis, let's move across the state to Independence. There's another stunning Victorian-era Gothic home, the Vale Mansion, echoing with its own dark history. A different kind of tragedy, though. Owned by Colonel Harvey Vale, a prominent figure who, despite being acquitted, faced accusations of government fraud.
Right. And what's particularly poignant here is the tragedy surrounding his wife, Sophia. She was diagnosed with stomach cancer, and she died back in 1883 from a morphine overdose. But the circumstances were, well, many found them questionable. It adds this layer of mystery to her passing. Plus, the mansion later served as a sanatorium. And places like that, often associated with intense suffering and, well, desperate hope, seem to attract paranormal activity.
And people still claim to see her.
Yeah. Guests claim glimpses of Sophia's apparition, looking out of windows or near the very spot on the floor where she died. Visitors also report those inexplicable cold spots and sometimes strange figures showing up on film.
It seems like the grief and maybe the unresolved questions from her death just never really left.
Now, shifting from public scandal to maybe more private sorrow, there's the Ravenswood Mansion in Bunsist. This holds another tale of a lingering matriarch. It's an impressive 1880 estate built for Nadine and Charles Leonard. They were known for their lavish entertaining. Nadine lived there until she died at the ripe old age of 90.
But the legend says Nadine's spirit just never left. Deeply attached to her home, I guess. There's this one particularly eerie story where a servant found her bedroom door locked from the inside after her death, only for it to mysteriously open later on its own.
Right, and reports from the mansion include lights turning on and off, doors swinging shut, and even old orchestra music spontaneously playing.
Get this, even Christmas ornaments are said to be thrown down the stairs sometimes, as if Nadine is still, part of the festivities, or maybe showing her discontent.
It's remarkable how varied these manifestations are, isn't it? Yet that underlying current of intense past events stays consistent. What common thread do you see emerging from these places? From the Lemp Mansion's tragedies to Nadine's attachment at Ravenswood?
Well, it really seems like these places, once filled with such strong emotions, whether it's despair or love or anger, they just retain an energetic imprint. Like the buildings themselves act as anchors. And that connection between intense human experience and this lingering energy isn't just limited to private homes, right?
No, not at all.
While these residences witness personal sorrows, Missouri's public institutions places designed for order, justice, or even healing, they seem to generate an even broader, maybe more pervasive sense of unease. Let's step inside some of its most notorious public buildings.
Indeed. Okay, first stop has to be the Missouri State Penitentiary in Jefferson City. It was dubbed the bloodiest 47 acres in America by Time magazine. That tells you something. At its peak, it was the largest prison in the U.S., housing about 5,200 inmates. And it was the oldest west of the Mississippi, operating from 1836 all the way to 2004. Its history is just incredibly dense with riots, violent escape attempts, suicides, and a chilling 40 executions in its gas chamber alone.
Just hearing that nickname, the bloodiest 47 acres, gives me chills. The atmosphere must be intense. I heard visitors touring the decommissioned prison have to sign a waiver.
They do.
And people with asthma or heart conditions are cautioned.
That's right. It speaks volumes about the place.
So what specific phenomena do people report there tied to all that suffering and confinement?
The reports are often pretty harrowing.
Yeah.
Disembodied voices, human-like shapes, full apparitions, and even sightings of what people call shadow people.
Shadow people, what are those typically described as?
They're often described as these dark, fleeting humanoid figures, sort of featureless. They vanish as quickly as they appear, but leave this chilling sense of presence behind. It suggests this vast collective residual energy from decades of confinement, despair, and violent ends, like the past is just playing out in this endless, unsettling loop.
Wow, okay, moving from one institution of confinement to another type, the Glore Psychiatric Museum in St. Joseph. This offers a different but equally poignant kind of historical trauma, doesn't it?
It does. It's located on grounds next to the former St. Joseph State Lunatic Asylum No. 2, which opened way back in 1874. The museum itself, it really sheds light on the often inhumane, sometimes brutal mental health treatments of the past. It's a very somber place.
And because of that intense suffering and isolation experienced by countless patients there, it's also considered a paranormal hotspot.
Exactly. People report shadowy figures, eerie whispers, even help me EVPs.
Yeah.
Electronic voice phenomena recordings. Some claim they sound like a child's voice.
Oh, that's disturbing.
Yeah. People also report inexplicable cold spots, and even the rocking chairs from the old hospital days are said to mysteriously move or change positions on their own, as if they're still occupied.
From the deep sorrow of past patients, let's turn to a place that held a different kind of intensity. The Elms Hotel and Spa in Excelsior Springs. This historic hotel actually burned down twice, right, in 1898 and 1910 before being rebuilt.
Yeah, that's correct.
But it was during Prohibition it really earned its reputation. Became a famous speakeasy, even frequented by gangsters like Al Capone.
That's the story. Quite a guest list back then. And the presence of figures like Capone and the sort of implied violence of that whole era, it really sets a different tone here. The violence of its past seems to linger. There are reports of a man supposedly killed by a mob gangster who roams the halls.
Roams the halls?
Yeah, and he's even been seen apparently swimming in the lap pool.
Swimming. A ghostly swimmer.
Apparently so.
Ugh.
Guests also report seeing the ghost of a maid from the 1920s, perhaps still attending to spectral guests,
It's fascinating how the type of haunting seems to reflect the specific history. Here, it's mob violence, daily life from a certain era. And the hotel actually embraces this. They offer paranormal tours.
They do. Leaning into the history, I suppose.
Okay, then we have Thespian Hall in Boonville. This one's truly remarkable, the oldest continuously operating theater west of the Alleghenies. built between 1855 and 1857.
An incredible history. And its past is diverse, too. It served as a Civil War hospital at one point, which adds another layer of human drama and suffering.
And it has a resident ghost, affectionately known as Mrs. X.
That's her, a gray-haired female spirit. She's reportedly been captured in photos and is often seen just wandering the halls, maybe still appreciating the performances.
And other things happen too.
Oh, yeah. Other phenomena include sudden bursts of ragtime music playing out of nowhere, and even wig stands mysteriously moving or turning to face mirrors.
Wig stands moving. That's oddly specific, almost like she's a lingering, appreciative audience member, or maybe an actress from a bygone era still part of the show.
Could be. It adds to the theater's character, certainly.
So we've explored grand mansions, historic institutions, places where human stories left these indelible marks on the structures. But what happens when the land itself seems to hold on to dark energy? Sometimes it's not just the buildings, right? Sometimes the very earth beneath our feet remembers.
Yeah, a perfect and frankly chilling example is Zombie Road. Officially, it's known as Rock Hollow Trail in Wildwood. It looks like a pretty innocent 2.3-mile section of old railroad tracks, but it's notoriously haunted. And the area has such deep history. It was an American Indian mound site and also a Union Army Civil War location. That's a lot for one trail.
And the reports are really unsettling, reflecting that layered past, it sounds like. Shadow people, specters of Confederate soldiers, Native Americans, lost school children, even quarry workers are said to be seen there.
That's what people report. There's also a particularly eerie story about a man who escaped from a nearby mental hospital. Only his blood-soaked clothes were found later near the trail. He was never seen again.
Oh, creep.
And Della Hamilton McCullough, who was tragically killed by a train there in 1876, is also said to haunt the road, perhaps replaying her final moments.
It's as if every tragic event just imprinted itself onto that specific stretch of land.
It seems that way. Then there's another truly unique phenomenon, one that really defies easy explanation. The Hornet Spook Light. This is found floating above a desolate stretch of Road E50 near Joplin.
The spook light. I've heard of this. What exactly do people see?
It's often described as, like, a baseball-sized ball of fire. Sometimes larger, it sways like a lantern and appears almost nightly, and has for over 100 years.
Over a century? And no explanation.
Not a definitive one. Even the Army Corps of Engineers studied it and couldn't explain it.
So if science can't explain it, what do the local legends say? What does it all mean?
Well, the legends try to fill the gap, right? Some say it's Native American lovers who leap to their death together. Others say it's a miner searching for his lost family by lantern light. Or maybe an Osage Indian chief looking for his decapitated head.
Wow, those are some dramatic origins.
They are. And what's really strange is that people report the light actually entering their vehicles, or walkers feeling its heat. It's more than just a distant light. It seems to interact.
Entering vehicles, that takes it to another level.
Definitely adds to the mystery. And finally, in the outdoors category, we have Springfield National Cemetery, a very somber, respectful place. The resting place for Union soldiers from Civil War battles, plus veterans from many other conflicts throughout American history.
And perhaps because of all that history, all that sacrifice and reverence, visitors report things there too.
Yes. Reports include apparitions, strange, foggy sights appearing suddenly, walking, shadowy figures, orbs of light in photos, and even some gravestones that appear to glow inexplicably.
Glowing gravestones. It's a place where the honor and memory of those who served seem to resonate, manifesting in ways that remind us of their enduring presence, perhaps.
A poignant thought.
Okay, so to wrap up our tour of Missouri's haunted landscape, let's touch on just a couple more intriguing sites. These tie into Missouri's famous, often dramatic history and some iconic figures.
Right. We should mention the Jesse James Farm and Museum in Kearney. This was, of course, the infamous outlaw Jesse James's childhood home. It's also where his mother, Zerelda, tragically lost her arm in a Pinkerton raid, and another of the James brothers was killed there during that same raid. Jesse himself was initially buried on the property before his remains were moved later.
So a lot of violence and drama centered right there, and the hauntings seem connected to that.
It seems so. People report unexplained lights in the farmhouse, even when it's locked up tight, doors slamming shut on their own, the sound of horse hooves stomping outside when no horses are there, whispering conversations heard, and movements seen inside the building that mysteriously are never captured on security cameras.
It feels like the echoes of a life lived constantly on the run, filled with conflict and tragedy, just continue to replay there.
It certainly sounds like it. Then there's Union Station in Kansas City, a truly grand, beautiful 1914 station. but it was also the site of the tragic 1933 Union Station massacre. Gangster Frank Nash and several law enforcement officers were killed in a botched prison break right there.
A very public, very violent event, and that energy lingers.
Reports suggest it does. During renovations, employees apparently saw a woman in a black dress descending the grand stairs, only to just disappear. There are also tales of phantom travelers seen with suitcases, maybe lost in time somehow, and train whistles heard when no trains are anywhere near the station.
Signaling unseen departures. And is Frank Nash himself reported there?
Unsurprisingly, yes. His ghost is also said to make appearances. It's like the sheer energy of all the arrivals and departures over the years, plus that one singular violent event left an indelible mark.
Okay, one last stop. The governor's mansion in Jefferson City.
Yes, this stately 1871 mansion, the official residence for Missouri's governors for a long time, it has a peculiar connection to the prison we mentioned earlier. Parts of its construction were actually done by prison inmates.
Interesting link, but the haunting there is more personal, right?
Much more personal. It's said to be haunted by Carrie Crittenden. She was the 9-year-old daughter of Governor Thomas Crittenden, and she tragically died of diphtheria right there in the mansion.
A child's ghost. That's always particularly sad.
It is. And there's a particularly vivid account from a workman during a restoration project. He saw a little girl playing up in the attic. Apparently, when he learned later who she likely was a ghost, he refused to ever go back up there.
Wow, I can't blame him. Imagine trying to explain that to your supervisor, a ghostly child playing in the attic. It really makes you wonder how many historical buildings quietly hold these unacknowledged residents.
Doesn't it, though?
Well, what an unforgettable deep dive into the haunted heart of Missouri. I mean, from the profound sorrow of the Lemp Mansion to that totally bizarre Hornet spook light, these stories really do bring the state's vibrant and often dark history to life. It's almost enough to make you wonder, isn't it, if these stories are more than just folklore, but maybe an enduring echo of untold suffering, of lives lived with such intense emotion.
I think that's what's so fascinating here. These tales aren't just about jump scares or spooky fun, are they? They're deeply woven into the very fabric of Missouri's past. They are reflections of human tragedy, conflict, the enduring energy, perhaps, of unresolved events. And it raises that important question, how much does our collective memory and the significance we attach to a place actually feed into the paranormal phenomena we perceive? Are we simply remembering things with such intensity that the past seems to resurface? Or is there a genuine, subtle imprint of life and emotion left behind?
Indeed. It really makes you think about the stories held within every old building, every quiet country road, every patch of land that witnessed history unfold. So next time you encounter a piece of history, maybe walking through an old town or visiting a historic site, you might just find yourself wondering, what else is it holding on to? What other secrets is it waiting to show you?